Hey guys, it's Michelle here, the founder and CEO of ihelpmoms.com. I am so excited to always bring you guys the top expert. And I have to say, today I have been so excited. We have Dr. Ellen on with us. She's a clinical psychologist. She specializes in mental health for families, toddlers, children, mother, fathers. She's a true expert. We were just talking about her incredible acumen. So thank you so much for being on with me.
Thank you so much for having me. Congratulations on launching the whole platform this week. I'm so excited about it.
Yay! We're so excited. We love helping moms here. And it brings me really to our first question that I think we as moms have had, and so many moms ask consistently is what are the best ways, Dr. Ellen, to manage our stress, our worries, and balance is like that word out there that some people absolutely cannot stand using. Some people get a good giggle out of it. But, I just think this is such a great topic. Or what are some strategies and tips to truly help busy people, busy parents really not stress so much and just find more joy along the journey?
Yeah, so we all experience it, right? We all stress for one reason or another. And when people ask me that question, I ask them a question back first before we even get into any of the strategies or tools or anything, which that in itself, I think is very individual too. So when I work with a family, I always give everybody very individualized tools for the specific thing that you're going through. But in general, when I get asked that question, I say, well, where is the stress coming from? So let's hold off even on all the tips and tricks and all those things that you can do, but where is it coming from? And that's different for different people. So that's why I say that, the strategies might look different for everybody because it depends on where it's coming from, and where my stress comes from may not be where your stress comes from. So I can never assume. But what I will say is that one of the biggest things with the clients that I work with who tend to be in the perinatal time frame, which is pregnancy, first year postpartum, even beyond really, but dealing with navigating families, work, babies, all those things. And what I hear a lot, the answer that I get back a lot is they just don't have enough help. The stress is coming from being burnt out, and everything feels like it just accumulates. It can even make you feel angry. It can make you feel way over exhausted, way beyond the regular exhaustion that we feel as new parents or parents. So much of it that I hear comes from like, I am trying to do too much and I don't have the support. So that's the first thing. And like I said, it's different for different people. That may not resonate with some of your viewers, but that's what I hear a lot.
Yeah, I love this. And I just want to encourage all the parents watching, don't suffer silently. Our I Help Moms coaches are literally one click away for you at by the minute services. So there's no long commitment, there's no subscriptions. We literally want to connect you to amazing experts like Dr. Ellen. I suffer from postpartum depression. I never wish another parent to suffer the way that I did, which is why Dr. Ellen and I and amazing other experts have teamed up. And you can find her right at I Help Moms, a simple click, and you can video her just like I am right now. And she's just a wealth of information to customize and personalize what you need to really live a life of joy and peace. So I just want to encourage you, check her out on ihelpmoms.com. But we have more. This is the best. So another really common question that I even have, we have 3 little girls, and as I've raised each of them, I realize I grow in my parenting. I grow in my understanding of childhood development. I have learned so much from the first baby to the third. I'm happy to say. And one of the things that I wonder a lot is, the decisions that I made for my first child that I now understand better as a third time parent, are those decisions going to be monumental, like life-changing things for my first child? Is every decision that we make in parenting, will it affect them later on in life? We just see so many times down the road, people reflect back on their childhood and place blame sometimes look back with love and joy and gratitude. It can vary, like you say, from person to person. But I think the core question that so many parents have is, does every decision that I make, is it like a huge, monumental, lasting impact on our kids?
That is a really big question people have. And I do tend to hear it more with first time parents, which I am myself. And then, like you said, you learn and you grow with the greater increase in number of children. Yeah. So you may not make the same choices, but I'm willing to bet that for you and for most of the people listening, you haven't made any monumental mistakes or anything like that. But that being said, of course, we make some mistakes, and the key is repairing any of the mistakes that you see yourself having made. Often it's something like, I wish I didn't yell this time, or, like this thing happened. I wish I didn't get so mad. It's usually about what I hear. Maybe you hear differently from different people, but a lot of it comes from like the reactions that people have and like, did I handle that well? Yeah. And what I tell people is, you'll make some mistakes. There might be some ruptures in the relationship. There are some ruptures in every relationship you have across the board, not just with your kids, right? There are ruptures. The important thing is to repair those ruptures, and you can always repair. And I also try to get people to look at patterns. They get so hung up on like this one thing and like, did I react okay? Is it a pattern? Are you reacting? Like if you're like, did I react okay? Then maybe you're sensing you didn't like how you reacted. Maybe you reacted just fine, but maybe you just didn't like it. It didn't feel authentic to you, right? So look at it like, number one, I can always repair a rupture and it's okay. And number two, is the thing that I didn't like, is it a pattern of behavior? Like, am I reacting this way every single time? And if you don't like it, then, and you're sensing that there's been that rupture, then yeah, maybe that's something that you want to kind of break the cycle on. But if it's a few isolated incidents, like we all get stressed, we all get mad, we all get upset. If it's not something that's like, oh, wow, that's a pattern that I really need to work on breaking, don't worry about it so much. Just repair that rupture and then handle it differently next time. And there will be another time where you're like, oh, I did it again. I didn't mean to react that way. But we're all human. So give yourself some compassion is really what it comes down to. Give yourself some compassion, repair, and move on.
Oh, I love that. Give yourself compassion. Shouldn't we all have coffee mugs made of that? I love that. We'll make them for I Help Moms. Give yourself compassion. Dr. Ellen, I love it. And one of the things that I found for myself is there were patterns, and they actually came generationally from my own parents and what I had just subconsciously learned from them. And then I joined together with my husband. So you bring two very different mindsets to a relationship. Then you bring a baby into the mix, and then you bring two more. And what I was finding is, I was defaulting just out of sheer exhaustion. And so when I got help from a therapist like Dr. Ellen, it really changed my life. And I had tools then to recognize when I needed to halt. That's something that just worked for me. Was I hungry, angry, lonely, and tired? And then I now can read myself better and really prepare myself when I know that I'm in a low tide stage of life to really have those toolkits that an expert like Dr. Ellen gave me. So I just want to encourage all of you, don't suffer silently. All moms, all parents, we have so much going on. And when you have an expert in your village you can talk to objectively, Dr. Ellen's going to customize and personalize and just listen. I mean, that's one of the most powerful things as moms is we just keep pushing through, and we see the same cycles of tiredness, exhaustion, yelling, tiredness, exhaustion, yelling, right? And so when we break that cycle, I always say strong moms, ask for help. Click ihelpmoms.com, find Dr. Ellen, and just talk by the minute, 5 minutes. That's it. We're not asking for subscriptions, for packages. We literally want to come alongside you and let you know you have someone on your team that truly understands what you're going through. Because as much as I love my husband and talking to him, he doesn't understand me and my life all the time. And we're very close. We have a beautiful marriage, but being a mom, being a business owner, being a parent of 3 little kids that really depend on me, there's a lot going on for me as a woman. And then if you look at other friendships, a lot of us will turn to mommy groups or turn to friends, which I think is beautiful. But again, they're not walking our same walk. They may not have our same values. They may not have our same end goal with our parenting styles and needs. So getting to an expert to really customize and really help you focus on your North Star to live your best life can be one of the best things that you do. And I'll leave you with this thought on this is my husband always says, man, whenever you talk to Dr. Ellen and all of your therapists at I Help Moms, you're a better mom, you're a better wife, you're a happier person. So the proof is in the pudding. That's all.
It's true. It's true. And like you said, even hop on for 5 minutes. You'll be surprised just that feeling, and this is even going back to the first thing that we were talking about with the stress and feeling supported. You'll just feel that support. It can be this breath of fresh air and sigh of relief just to feel like, oh my God, somebody hears me, somebody understands me, I feel so supported. And of course, you're going to leave with some tools in your toolkit to add on, but just to feel like, wow, somebody is really hearing me. And you touched on so many great things too in what you've said, like the halt thing I love, because sometimes it's like just your basic needs. Like it's like we become moms, we're responsible for another human being all of a sudden, and we forget that we are literally human beings that also just need food and water and rest. Like just go breathe some fresh air, go outside, those kinds of things. It's like we really forget about those things.
Oh.
And also thinking of the intergenerational cycles that you mentioned, we default parent the way that we were parented unless we can make the conscious choices to not parent that way, or we can take what we like, take what we didn't like. And I've heard some people say, well, I didn't like anything. Okay, that I'm sorry that happened, and you can do it all different. You don't have to do it the same way.
Oh, I love that. I just feel like Dr. Ellen, experts like yourself and psychologists, you really help people clarify what they want in their lives. And I just feel like as moms, we're just going a million miles a minute. And it's literally one of the smartest things you can do to just clarify with an expert. So I love all of this. I'm going to make another mug that says halt on it, Dr. Ellen.
I love it. Do it.
All right. So last question for you. I could talk to you all day long.
I know.
And I would just love to hear your overall advice. So many of our experts at I Help Moms help hundreds and thousands of families over their years of schooling and as experts in their own fields. And I always love to ask, what is your greatest piece of advice from objectively seeing so many different families of how we can find more peace and calm and really love this journey of parenting? Because we hear all the time that the moments are, super short. And that we hear from those veteran moms, like, enjoy every moment because they're gone in a flash, right? But I think we hear it, we're like, but I'm really tired.
Yes.
So what is your biggest advice as an expert to just really embrace it and enjoy the journey?
So that is another phrase that does annoy me when I hear it too. Just cherish every moment, love every moment. That's not possible. The theme of this whole conversation, we are also human, and that's not possible. But we can live mindfully, even through the difficult moments. And it's like we almost tend to forget that the negative moments they can be just as fleeting as the positive moments. Like everyone's like, hang on to all the positive moments and never forget them and cherish them. But we know that those are fleeting, and that's why we focus so much on them. We tend to forget that the negative moments are fleeting as well if we allow them to be. We don't have to get stuck there. We don't have to linger there. And of course, I have so many great tools to add to everybody's toolkits with how you can do that and really kind of power through those negative feelings, because we don't want to get stuck there and linger there. So that's a big piece of advice. Don't get stuck in the negative, and you can live mindfully through the positive, through the negative, and you don't have to love every moment. You don't have to cherish every moment. It's okay not to. You're not going to love every moment. Some moments you're like, I'm tired, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, and I want to be by myself right now. And none of those things might be solvable in that moment that you're like, but if we live mindfully enough and just cherish a few moments, find a few moments every day where you are noticing something that brings you joy, about your child, about the day itself, about yourself. Pick out, just savor a few moments a day. Because one of the biggest things in like, people are so scared that time is going to just fly by. Um, but it doesn't have to. It flies by when we don't pay attention. So we can learn to pay attention better and live more mindfully in our day to day, to where we're like, yeah, my daughter just turned 2 and people are like, I can't believe she's 2. Can you believe it? Just like that, time's flown by. And I'm like, I am so grateful to say that it doesn't feel like it flew by for me. And I don't just mean that in like, I'm the one who's here every day. I don't even mean it that way. I just mean it like, I have my number one thing that I said to myself when she was born was, savor some of every day. Find joy in some of every day. It doesn't have to be all day, every day. Some days are really hard and they're difficult and you just want those days to be over. Still, at the end of the day, what was something beautiful that happened that day? What was something beautiful that you noticed? Just notice, engage all your senses, notice every little detail about your baby for just a few moments a day. And then you'll really feel like you're there and you're present and it's not all just slipping away too fast.
Oh, I love all of that. I hope everyone feels the hug that came through that, because there's so much wisdom in there. And I just know with my third daughter, I was terrified of postpartum depression again. So my therapist really helped me, even in like those early dawn moments when I was feeding her. I would just touch her little toes and her little fingers when I was absolutely exhausted, and just focus on, thank you that she has 10 fingers and 10 toes. Thank you that I can just feel her warm body on me. And it was something so simple, but it switched my paradigm from I'm absolutely exhausted to, wow, I created this miracle. And I am so lucky to get to hold her right now. And then as life evolved and I started I Help Moms and I would start feeling that overwhelm happening, I would go outside and, like Dr. Ellen said, like, evoking your senses is so important, or turn on great music that would just change my state, and it's just these little things that therapists and real experts like Dr. Ellen is a clinical psychologist can really help give you these little reminders that come up right when you need them. And now I've started journaling in the mornings that my girls are a little bit older. I did not do this when they were little. I didn't have the space or the capacity to in my life, but now my oldest one's 9. And so everyone gets on the bus at the same time, and I sit down with my cup of coffee and I do a 1-page journal of everything I'm grateful for. And all I can tell you is it changed my life. And I know that everyone says that who does this practice, but these are just 3 steps through my journey of motherhood that experts like Dr. Ellen gave me. And they have helped me so much to, like Dr. Ellen said, savor the journey and embrace just a few good moments a day, even when there's hard things. I love this mindfulness. I want to do this again where we can even maybe tap in more to like the specific tools, because that unlocks true joy in the journey. And I just think that's so powerful. And my final question that I would love to ask you is something that we talked about before. Is so many people think that therapy or getting help from an expert is long hours, a huge financial commitment, just a big step, right? And so that's why I really admire you, Dr. Ellen, is you understand the mission and the purpose of ihelpmoms.com. I didn't have hundreds of thousands of dollars to work my way through postpartum depression, but I did have 5 minutes and maybe $20 to get some help once in a while when I needed help. And so, Dr. Ellen, I would love for you to just help us unpack how simple it could look for a mom to stop suffering silently, click ihelpmoms.com, and what are some of the benefits of just dipping our toe in and saying, yeah, I need some help?
Oh, well, logistically, it is extremely simple. So let's start there. I mean, I kind of stumbled into it myself, just clicking around and looking at what's out there and what you do and everything. And it is so simple. The way that you have built the platform really is super simple. Like, you can't go wrong. You can't click wrong. Everything is laid out right there for you, and you can find I love how it's also broken down by category too. So I am in categories for parents' mental wellness and kids' behavior support. But there's so many others. I saw so many other great great ones that I'm not qualified for, but I'm sure you have tons of experts
Yeah.
who are. So I really loved that aspect of it. Like when a mom or parent goes on, you can look for exactly what you're looking for, and you can read a little resume and a little bio, and it's really great the way that you've set it up. So people already know exactly what they're getting with the person that they click on for a consultation, which is one of the things that can feel a little bit scary to somebody who's never tried something like this before. Oh, did you disappear?
Yeah, you're fine.
For somebody who's never tried something like this before, or isn't sure, who is this person? You can read all about us. You can really, whatever you're seeking out, I bet that there's a category there. And you can hop on and you can find somebody in that category. You just look for the green button that signals that we're online and available to talk, and you just start a consultation. And the great thing about it, so like we were talking about, we acknowledge how scary it can feel to dip your toe into therapy. And a lot of people are like, do I need therapy? And it's not everybody needs therapy. It's not as scary. It's not taboo. There's no stigma. We all need some support, and sometimes you need a little extra support from an expert in a specific field that you're looking for support in. So, in my practice, I have a very fluid timeline, in the sense of, like, you're not committed. You're not signing any like if you're working with me personally one-on-one outside of iHelpMoms, even then, there's no contract that you're committed to. You get what you need out of it. And if you feel that you've been well supported and you can take the tools and go off and live your life and check back in for a maintenance session now and then, you are welcome to when you feel ready. But what I love so much about iHelpMoms too is, if you're like, maybe I just have this one question. Maybe it's a question like, oh my God, this thing happened. Did I handle it okay? Maybe it's a question like that, and you can just hop on, and we're not even considering, what I'm doing on iHelpMoms, I'm consulting and coaching, but certainly not providing therapy. I'm not really operating under my license, but I'm here to support. I'm here to answer questions. Did I handle that okay? Should I do it different? How can I do it better? I didn't like how I handled that. Or even things like, how you were saying, I was just so exhausted. Yeah, we are going to be exhausted, but how can we be exhausted and grateful, exhausted and joyful, or how do we, if we're exhausted to the point where, like, this is not a normal level of exhaustion. Okay, I hear you. Let's figure out, how do we move some things around in your life and get you the support that you need so that you can sleep more. So I'm here to problem solve and to support on iHelpMoms.
Oh, I love it so much. And, I created this concept because I realized, like, we have coaches all through our life when we're little, right? Like, you have a 2-year-old pretty soon, the soccer and the ballet and all these great things will start. We have amazing coaches and teachers. So when parenting comes, we read all the books and then we go to the 1 or 2 classes, and then on your own, figure it out. Like, no, we need coaches still. So that is why I created ihelpmoms.com coaches, because life is easier when you have someone beside you, coaching, encouraging, supporting, and helping you along the way. You're not alone. Thank you so much, Dr. Ellen. I have loved this conversation. I'm so grateful to you, and I look forward to using you as well on iHelpMoms.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. This was super fun.
Have a beautiful day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.